This is episode number 163 of the Homeowners Show. Whether you're a DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to Homeowners Show. We are so glad that you could join us for another live episode here from the Homeowners Show studios. How you doing, Kev?
I'm doing pretty good, but you have busted out the puffy vest.
Yes, it is vest weather.
It is.
It is like my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
I hate wearing jackets.
Okay.
But I like there to be a chill in the air. It was 47 degrees this morning.
It was perfect.
Yes.
Like, it could not have been more perfect. I walked outside and I was like, ooh, I loved it.
Also, people like me will appreciate this. It is so much easier to conceal carry when you're wearing a vest.
Oh, yes. There is no doubt, or just some sort of outer covering.
Yes,
you know,
because like when I work, I'm a tucker.
Yeah,
I tuck the shirt.
Sure.
And it's difficult to conceal the firearm when you have your shirt tucked in.
Yeah, you are a tucker.
Well, when I'm at work, I'm a tucker. Anything else, I let it fly.
Yeah, no tuck. No tuck, sometimes tuck, who knows?
That's right.
Other than that, I'm doing pretty good overall. Things are good. How about you?
Doing really good.
Yeah.
We got a new sponsor for the show.
Yeah.
So this episode is brought to you by TermaSave. If you are tired of worrying about termites eating your house, there is only one termite warranty company in the country, and that is TermaSave. And so rather than, when termites eat your house, it can cost you thousands upon thousands of dollars. In fact, termites actually cause well over $1 billion worth of damage in property in 1 year.
Wow.
Every year. And so it can be a very, anxiety-driven thing for homeowners to be constantly worried about whether or not they have termites on your house. And when it does happen, it can cost you thousands of dollars. And so rather than being constantly worried about this, why not just buy a policy? It's not really a policy. It's a warranty through TermaSave for $35 a month.
35?
Yeah.
That's a deal.
All you do, go to the website, termasave.com, make an appointment, get your house inspected. Passes the inspection, $35 a month. If you ever have termites, it's just covered.
So, legitimately, it could cost you thousands of dollars to get termites treated. But you're telling me with TermaSave, I don't have to worry about that. $35 a month, we're covered.
Right. And
wow.
So, what a lot of people don't understand is the treatment alone will cost you thousands of dollars. Or if you don't get it treated with a chemical, a system that they'll put in place, like a baiting system that they'll put in place, that will cost you thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
That does not include the damages that you have to get repaired usually once you discover them.
Because there's always going to be some sort of wood. They're literally eating the wood.
Yeah. And I would say about 70% of the time, the reason people have damages on their home because of termites is because they realize that they don't have the money to pay for the treatment. And so they allow the infestation to continue.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Come on, people.
Yeah. So
don't let that happen. Buy the policy. Oh, it's not a policy. It's a warranty. Buy the warranty.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Absolutely.
Nice. I love it.
Thank you, TermaSave. Great sponsor for the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anything else going on, Kev?
Oh man, it is. It's getting into the season where there's that chill in the air. There's pumpkin patches around. I don't know. It's just I feel like life is different all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We got something completely different than that to talk about tonight, right?
Absolutely.
So tonight, we're going to be talking about something that's kind of interesting.
It's right in both of our wheelhouse.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. We are interior design people.
Yeah.
As Mel is laughing right now.
So she told me the other day, she goes, I'm not coming back on your show again. I was like, why? And she goes, I've been on too many times.
Oh my goodness. Come on. Look, we put up a brand new beautiful painting.
Yeah.
Today.
It's an original piece of art.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people that listen to the show know that I'm kind of an art buff, and my sister got me this new armadillo piece here over Kevin's shoulder.
It's super cool.
I wanted to show it off. So
Yeah, I mean,
if you can't see it, because Kevin's big old head's in the way, if you get close, it's a armadillo skeleton.
yeah,
So
it's pretty cool.
it's very cool.
And so Mel, if you don't like this, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, good, because she said she wasn't coming, so she's not invited.
She's not even listening tonight. That's probably the biggest problem. So we're gonna rat her out on that. But
we'll still drink together.
yeah, yeah, but not
Which,
on
by the way,
not on the show.
It's my week.
Oh,
Did you know?
I didn't.
It is how did they put National Old Fashioned Week.
Really?
Yes.
So every night
day.
of the week or
Yeah.
every day you're having a different
Old fashioned. Yeah,
that you're making yourself.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I'm living right.
Well, I know that's your drink of choice.
And if you haven't been doing it, then catch up.
Yeah. Okay.
And you'll enjoy the show more.
Well, don't wait until Friday to catch up.
No. Why is that?
Well, you'll be drunk. If you're catching up on Friday, it's going to
You
be...
can stagger them. You'll be fine. Just eat some barbecue.
Eat some barbecue. Get some salt in your system.
That's
You'll
right.
be fine.
You'll be fine.
No big deal. No, but tonight we're going to be talking about 7 different interior design trends that are... this article is going to tell us is going to disappear this year.
Yeah, so here's why I picked this article. One, it's from back in May.
Yeah, well, yes.
And so I'm interested to see if any of this, for those of you listening that might be involved in interior design or maybe even like remodeling, are you seeing some of these trends? Like, has this been true with what you've been seeing? And we're, Kevin and I are gonna, put our 2 cents in because we pay attention to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But this was back in May, and so there was a lot of stuff. I don't know if everybody remembers, but there was a lot of stuff happening in our country back in May. I mean, like we were, still being told that we're in the middle of a pandemic that apparently will never end.
Right. There were still, race riots were still happening. It was, plus, we got a new president in, fairly new at that point. There's just a lot going on.
A lot happening.
A lot, yeah.
And all that kind of stuff can sort of help fuel and feed the different trends and things that we see in homes. And not only that, if you remember back then, we were starting to see some of the escalating prices in lumber.
Yes.
And in all the different supply, like home improvement stores were just like sucking wind.
Wasn't that around the time that oh man, I can't think of the name. The big barge carrier that got stuck in the canal. Yeah, it got stuck in the canal, right?
Yeah.
And then it wound up being this like big huge problem and shut down the supply chain for months, really. We're still dealing with supply chain issues from that.
Well, have you heard about the most recent ones where like they have all these ships sitting off the coast of California?
Yes.
They can't unload them because there's no one to unload them, and there's nothing to do with the products, and it's
right.
What do you do?
We got trucks and trucks and trucks and trucks and cars sitting on lots because you can't get microchips for them.
Yeah.
Right? And because without the microchip, you can't turn the things on. And so if you can't turn them on, they're just literally sitting in lots, off the production line. It's crazy. It's kind of lots of these things are changing subtly. They're changing the world that we live in, and we're having to make adjustments in many ways. And so it is going to be interesting to see which of these fashion trends actually do come to fruition. I'm curious.
I am too. It's going to be an interesting one. Well, anyway, we probably just need to get into it. So let's just go through the list, Kev.
Okay.
So number one, right off the bat, they're going. Kevin and I are in Texas, and so they're going for the heart on this one.
Well, look behind you, dude. I got it in my house. You got it in yours.
Yep. So they're saying here. Did we say we're doing the 7 that are falling out?
Yes.
Okay. So the seven things that are going out of fashion in interior design, right off the bat, shiplap.
Oh.
They're saying shiplap is out.
It's like a dagger through my heart because, this Chip and Joanna Gaines, they really made some waves with the shiplap.
Oh yeah.
And the thing about shiplap is, it's like indestructible. if it's true shiplap,
Yeah.
That true shiplap that has been around for centuries and centuries and centuries and it's weathered. That stuff's worth gold, man.
Well, it's one, like it's an expensive material.
Yes.
Two, here's why I think they're wrong. I don't think that you can build an interior decorator theme park based around a design concept like shiplap and then just expect it to go away overnight. It will go kicking and screaming into the night.
Yeah, for example, we redecorated a whole entryway of our house with shiplap.
Yeah.
And we spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars doing it. A lot of time. It's exactly what we wanted, right?
Yeah.
So for you to tell me that something that you legitimately covered an entire wall with, and sometimes entire rooms with, spent hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars doing this yourself, let alone if you paid a contractor to do this, it's not something you're just going to go tear out because the trend's gone.
No.
Right?
No, not at all. And the other thing is, like, shiplap is not difficult to put up.
No.
And so because it's very DIY friendly, I think that's the very reason it's going to hang around.
Yeah.
Because it's something that people can improve the look of their home without having to hire a contractor.
Sure.
That they can make it look nice and professional without having to spend big bucks to have somebody else do it for them. And because it's something that it's easy for DIYers to get around, people tend to be more proud of the things that they do themselves rather than, DIYers rarely complain about the work that they do.
That's true.
Whereas when a contractor does it, they can always point at it and go, "Oh, that sucks. I hate the way that he did that. Oh, I hate the way that she did this." But they never say that about the stuff they do themselves. And shiplap is so easy to do yourself. Most people are more than likely going to do it themselves, and so favor it more than when someone else had done it. So for that reason, I think it's probably going to be less popular. But I think people are still going to continue to do it.
Yeah, one of the things that is going to be interesting to me is just with the price of lumber, which has come back down, right? It's still high.
It's still high.
There are other finishes that are cheaper. Just plain and simple, sheetrock is cheaper. Putting up drywall, that's a lot cheaper than putting up shiplap. It's not the same. You still have to cover that with paint and all that kind of stuff. You put up a shiplap wall, like it's its own decoration even, right? So, I don't know. I could potentially get on board with the idea of it becoming less popular. I don't think it's a trend that's going away though. Not anytime soon. Especially not in the South. Not in the South.
Yeah, Chris Turner just jumped on here and he said white shiplap is going away.
Okay.
And he said, I think he's like gray. Everything's going gray. And I think that's absolutely. You're seeing gray all over the place.
Right.
All these different it's like blue gray, brown gray, all these different colors of gray.
Yeah.
So I think you're absolutely right, Chris.
Yeah, I'm just putting that up here for a second to let people see because it's interesting whenever we're looking at this this article even. The picture that they show is white shiplap.
It is, yeah. Which it's a classic look on the shiplap. So behind me we kind of got all natural,
right?
Which is my preference, but what do I know?
That's a little bit too much information. But speaking of gray,
the next one on the list.
The next one on the list is the gray kitchen interiors may become less popular.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
How do you spell gray?
I spell it with an E.
Yeah, see that's exactly the thing that I noticed in this article. It's Gray.
Yeah. So my understanding, and again, I don't know very much, but my understanding is that Gray is a very European way to like a UK type of English versus American English that's going to be EY versus AY. That's my understanding. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But this might tell us something about the person who wrote this.
Yeah, that's right. This is true. Let's get this Euro trash out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Grey. In fact, we might need to talk to Chris Turner. Because if you look at his comments, it's AYAYAY.
I know him to be very anti-European.
Yes. Well, and he's also such a good speller.
Yeah, yes.
Like that's obviously what he's known for.
Well,
So.
I mean, either way you spell it, you're not going to be wrong. It's just who are
true.
you insulting? So
It's so true. So how do you feel about gray kitchen cabinets?
I never knew them to be popular.
Yeah.
So for them to tell me that they're becoming less popular, I don't really feel one way or the other. And cabinets are kind of weird, man. I mean, because if you're getting outside of the realm of pre-production cabinets, then yeah, I could see how that was a popular trend. But if it's pre-production cabinets, I mean, most of those are like grain colored,
Sure,
or stained.
Yep.
And a lot of times they're not built out of that grade of wood, and so like there's not really, people don't paint them.
Yeah.
Until like a couple generations of owning the house or whatever.
And a lot of times then they go to white.
Right.
A lot of times. Now, it is interesting because I'm not going to give it away because we're going to talk about some trends that they do think are going to come in, but there's another color that they're saying or is probably going to replace the gray color. They're going to use a different color. And interestingly enough, my wife has already told me like a year ago, she was like, I want that new color of cabinet.
Gray?
No, the new color.
What's the new color?
Well, I don't want to give it away.
Oh, you don't want to? Okay.
Yeah. I want people to have a little bit of a, what is it? Right? You might be able to guess. But it's a color that she really, and honestly, like I went looking for it and you can find it all over the internet. Like people are doing, that color to their cabinets. So.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, like when it comes to this kind of stuff, I typically don't care what the trends are. Not because like I'm a anti-trend. I just don't. I don't typically pay attention. Like, oh, what's the trend? What is everybody else doing? Like I generally have an idea is like what I want to do.
Okay, so let me on that note. I mean, because I'm very much the same way. I mean, my wife the other day was like, "Hey, it would be really cool if we painted these doors black," and I'm like, what? She's like, everybody's doing it. I'm like, not us. Like, no. And that's the same. We have gray shiplap around where those doors would be.
Yeah.
It's like, it's French doors. They go into our living room. And I'm like, you want to paint that black on the gray back?
Yeah.
That's not going to work. And so anyway, she's like, no, you're probably right. But I agree with you. I think that most of the time what we do is just kind of like, what do we like? But again, going back to this, like, let's say someone got Aaron. We had Aaron on the painter, cabinet painter. We had Aaron on the show. And if we had Aaron come over and paint our cabinets gray, and people tell us, hey, you know what? Next year, another color's going to be in. Who's going to call Aaron back up and be like, I'd like to spend that money again and get this redone real quick because
it's not trending.
It's not trending anymore. Like that's one of those things where that's the problem with certain trends, right?
Well, I think that's a problem with any trend, right? Is like eventually it's going to go away.
Yeah.
And if you did it because it was trendy, then you probably didn't really like it. And so why did you do it? Because you're not going to enjoy it down the road and you're just going to spend more money to change it.
No, I agree. I think one trend that we should have kept was the mechanics behind the green refrigerators.
The green refrigerators.
The green refrigerator and like freezers. Y'all didn't have green refrigerators and freezers growing up?
Are you talking about like the color, like avocado?
Yes, the avocado ones.
Okay.
Yeah. Those things still work. Like, they're still around. Like, people are still going, still working.
Yep.
Still plug it in. Still keeps things cold. And I'm like, whatever you did to those, you should have fixed in all of these new ones.
Yeah.
We can change the color, but whatever mechanics are in there, you should have kept that trend going.
Well, I told you about the big chill stuff last episode, right?
Yes.
Like I think that's their concept.
Okay, well
good innards.
Definitely, yeah, because definitely they've got the look of the old stuff. But if you whatever the mechanics are inside, like Like as you put it, the innards. I like it. I like the innards. All right, what's the next one?
Let me scroll down here. Oh, all white interiors may start to date themselves.
Well, I know why.
People are smoking more?
Yeah, obviously. They're staining these things, and they're going, look, we can't have white, all of our linens white and all of everything, because now we got stains all over them. We got to throw these things out.
Yeah, white's hard to keep clean.
It is.
Especially if you have kids.
Yeah. Not even. It's such a non-starter, man.
Look, if you have white furniture and you don't medicate your children to like a really low degree of like activity, then just expect that your white furniture is going to be some sort of mosaic.
Yeah, and speaking of medication, if you're not getting the non-dyed medication, it's gonna wind up all over your stuff in and of itself.
Yep.
Because that cherry flavored stuff is not coming out
of anything.
Mom, sorry, I didn't take my medicine. Why? You should have taken your medicine. I spilled it. Come on. This is like every night,
You're giving your kids medicine every night?
We're not going to talk about that.
Y'all, I'm going to look into this. This could be serious.
I'll tell you this. I'm fine with this trend going away.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I can see that it would. I mean,
I'm tired looking at it. Not because it's boring, but I don't want to clean all of it.
No, there's no way that I'm keeping that clean.
Which could be why Chris was saying it's kind of going to gray, because that's way easier to keep clean.
Much easier.
Here's the thing. What little I do know about interior decorating is when you go gray, you've got to bring in some other on that kitchen we were looking at before. It had all gray cabinets, but it had white countertops.
White countertops, yep.
And you have to do that, otherwise it just looks like a cave.
Yeah.
And when people go all white on the interior like this, it really makes the room look bigger and brighter.
It does.
So.
Yeah, I mean, and you're at that point you're bringing in the darker colors just to kind of give it some accents, and I like the look of it for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like the hotel rooms might look really nice with that in there, but for my house, practically speaking, I live in there.
Yeah,
I live in my house.
Look, I'm a muddy guy.
Hey, you are surrounded by mud here.
Yes.
So, I mean, you have no concrete on your property.
There's some.
Where?
We're next to some.
Okay.
We're not technically on top of some, but there's some over there.
That's called a slab foundation.
Yes.
We're not talking about.
That's concrete.
Yeah. You do have a little bit over there. It's a sidewalk, little sidewalk, I think.
Yes, there is a sidewalk between the buildings.
Yeah.
That's concrete.
Anyway, no, I'm fine with that one going away. The next one to me is one that I'm like, I know people did this. But it's like the whole IKEA thing, right? Like the mid-century modern furniture, they're saying that's starting to go away. Like the low profile, very not plush type of furniture, going away, gone. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because, I enjoy mid-mod or mid-century mod, but not for my house. I mean, I don't know. I like the look of it.
I don't mind the look of it in certain settings.
Mm-hmm.
I think office furniture looks really good with this vibe to it. I think that coffee shops with this type of vibe look really good. I think that even like church foyers look really good with this kind of stuff in it. But my house, and again, this is just me. I don't understand people that buy furniture that you don't want to sit on.
Sure.
It's not comfortable, plush. I have to get help getting up out of it. You know? I want to be super comfortable in my furniture.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's the reason I'm hesitant to agree with this one is because I know that there are a couple of really successful furniture companies that this is all they do.
Well, and IKEA is one of them.
Well, I think IKEA is the big box one. I'm thinking of some more boutique places that this is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And they have little to no signs of slowing at this point. And this is back in May, and these guys are still going strong.
Yeah.
So they could be right in the long term, and like maybe we're gonna see it slow maybe by like 2025.
Mm-hmm.
But like when people when you spend $3,000 on a sofa,
you're not getting rid of it.
You're not. I mean,
No.
unless something tragic happens.
Yep.
Like a flood or a fire or an ex or just I don't know. But like you're just not going to like readily change that out when you spend that much money on a piece.
And the thing is, it really doesn't matter how much money you have. You're still not switching that out all the time. Like, I mean, it's one of the maybe.
Here's the other thing about that, right? And let's say that here's the way that I see it going, because this happened to me when I was in college. Is I inherited furniture. I could have given a flying fart in the wind what it looked like. But if I had something nice that was handed down to me, that was my new style.
Sure.
And that's exactly how it happened for me, and I just kind of worked with it. and so like if you had some parents that like spent $3,500 on this mid-mod sofa that 10 years later they give to you because it's still in good shape.
Sure.
Hopefully it's in good shape because you spent that much money on a sofa.
Right.
Like that's going to be their new style.
Sure.
And so like this is how these kinds of things get recycled. Is like you hand it down to a 23-year-old who has an apartment and that's all they've got. Right. And so like they have it and that's like the only thing they have, so they like it, so they build around it.
Yeah.
And so like now they're doing mid-century mod again. And that's probably exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things that I mean, Mel, I wish you would come back on the show. To debate with us, because I know she would be disagreeing with us left and right on this.
She's going to start her own podcast.
But she's not going to do that. She could. But I think that it's one of those things that, like, when you're in her position where she's helping people design stuff, I think the trends really do matter. But once you put that thing in, you're kind of left with it. Yeah. For a while, at least.
Well, I think what you're saying is totally true. Like if somebody else is doing it for you, by God, you better be paying attention to the trends, because they're expecting you to give them something. Yes. That stands out and that looks good to their friends and blah 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 blah. Yep. But all these other, like there's what is it? The right now it's the high-waisted jean that's back.
It's back.
Like what the hell?
I don't know, man. I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts. But none of them are inappropriate. I'll tell you that. Yeah. If that helps at all.
Part of me is like, it's just the revenge of other shaped people. Because like for a while it was the low-rise jean. Yes. Like the low-rise, and then it was the skinny jean. And like the pencil leg jean. And it's like, okay, like these really only look good on people that are shaped certain ways. And so like now that we got the high-waisted jean, well, the people that looked good in the low-rise jean, they don't look good in those.
No, they don't.
But
they wear them because they're in style.
Oh my gosh. Don't do it. Just wear the jeans that are comfortable and look good.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would make them better is if they were stonewashed. And then if you pleat them and stonewash them, then we have something that's truly hideous.
How can you make so many wrong statements?
Well, so many of us wore them back in the day.
Not me.
No, that I would like to see.
I skipped all that and wore sweatpants.
Oh, so you were a sweatpants guy before sweatpants were cool.
Yes. I didn't give a.
Again, a flying fart in the wind.
Nope.
Right? That's the one.
Yep.
I know that's what you were gonna say.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was.
Yeah.
So here's the next one.
Okay, bring it.
Barn doors.
Doors.
It says barn doors could be replaced by other types of statement entryways.
Okay.
Which, I mean, like, how to be so broad and say nothing. Yeah. But just say that barn doors are going away.
Right.
And I think what they mean is like rustic barn doors.
Yeah, so I mean that trend like came in hot.
Because in the article they're tying this in with shiplap, which is clearly like that rustic chic look that so many people are going for.
Right.
But anyway, I think they're saying the rustic look going by the wayside. We're still going to keep the barn door functionality.
Yeah.
Which, I probably agree.
Yeah.
Just because, again, like, this is not something that's difficult for DIYers to do.
Oh, it's super simple. Especially if you have a space that you would love to remove the door from because it swings into something else and you just want the space. You wish you had a pocket door, but you don't have a pocket door, but you have the space to put up a barn door. You still get the functionality of having a closed off space.
Yeah.
But you get also the functionality of a pocket door in many ways.
I've actually seen them where I think it becomes more difficult for DIYers is when you get a bigger door rather than just like a standard size door.
Yeah.
You get like a door that's like twice the size or three times the size of a normal door. That's really long. And those are really cool, but you really have to have the right space in order to install and the right, hardware.
Yeah.
In order to make that work. And it's going to be, and a lot of those are custom.
Yeah.
But
and those do get very expensive.
Yes.
Whenever you talk about that kind of stuff.
But very cool.
Yeah.
And I don't say that like that it's easy for DIYers to install barn doors lightly. Like, you really have to put some thought into it. Make sure that you've got the space to slide that door away from the opening enough to where you can actually walk through it, move things through it. There's several elements. As someone who's put one in.
And one of the things that here's part of the pushback I would have, and that's that what I'm really seeing through a lot of this is I'm seeing that farmhouse style is what they're saying is starting to go away. But like I've got more than one friend that I know who've recently built a house from the ground up. And the whole house is a farmhouse.
Yeah.
You know? And it's one of those looks that, to be honest, is really classic.
Yeah.
It's not something that is so super trendy that I feel like in 50 years from now, they're going to look back on it and go, what were we thinking? You know, why did we build this farmhouse, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes the house will make you do things too.
Sure, absolutely.
You think about some of those houses that were built in the 70s that were very angular and geometric that like don't really look like houses.
Right.
Like you can't do things on the inside of that and have any sort of like coherence in your style or anything. Like, I mean, you could do it just to be, weird and ironic. I suppose, which that has its place.
Yeah.
But like sometimes the house just makes like mine. Mine's a log cabin.
Right.
Like it would be really stupid for me to go super modern on the inside of the house. It just wouldn't make any sense.
No, it wouldn't.
Like, what's going on in here?
Right. Yeah, and I know people do that kind of thing, but like you said, it doesn't make sense. So I think that there are definitely going to be instances where people put this type of thing up in their home, and it was very intentional. Like, they knew for a long, long time we want to have this. But I do like the idea of, hey, just switching out the doors, leave the hardware up, switch out the type of door that you've got here, and you've got a whole new look. That's actually something that you could do fairly inexpensively because the hardware's a big chunk of the expense for this type of look.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next one here is they're saying that accent walls won't be as trendy. And so, this is one of those looks where you've got a wall in a 4-wall room that is a completely different color. A lot of times it's a lot darker color. Or sometimes it's got a pattern. Someone will, do some sort of a wallpaper or a pattern paint of something like that. But they're saying, look, it's probably going to not be nearly as trendy this coming year.
Which, I mean, that seems weird to make accent walls a trend.
I mean, I guess I don't understand why that's not appealing. Like, to just, I mean, whether it is or whether it isn't, but I think that specifically putting wallpaper back up was trendy. Wallpaper really, in fact, Mel sat in this studio and said, "Oh, wallpaper's coming back."
Yeah.
Like, everybody's doing wallpaper, and I think a lot of people are doing wallpaper accent walls
Yes.
too. So, I don't know.
It could be. I mean, like you see the photos, and like I guess you just don't have the context of it because sometimes all you're seeing maybe is just the accent wall.
Mm-hmm.
And but like is it really an accent wall if you can't see the other walls that it's making the accent of? I don't know. It just seems like a weird. Like I've never known it to not be something that people do.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean.
And one of the other things that I will say about this, though, to kind of make it more plausible, super easy to change.
Yeah.
I mean, you throw some kills up there, new coat of paint, you're good. Unless it's wallpaper, then meh.
Yeah.
Taking wallpaper down sucks. But a lot of people just paint over that too, you know?
Yeah, they do.
So we got paint over wallpaper in our house. You know how I know? It's rippled. So that's the way I know.
Well, I think and they might be piggybacking on this because I know that some people use shiplap as an accent wall.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could be rolling all this in together.
Yeah.
And I think if you asked anybody over the last 5 years, what they were doing to accent a wall, more than likely it would be some sort of like pallet wood or rustic barn wood or something like that's something I've seen more of than just like one painted wall or one wallpapered wall is just like a wood accent wall.
Yeah.
So it seems weird to me that like you won't be seeing accent walls. So like what they're just all going to be like beige or white
or
all wallpaper.
Growing up in my house, walls were supposed to be white. That's what my dad thought.
Eggshell?
No, eggshell. Yes.
Okay.
My brother's weird. I think I've told you this before, right?
It's bright white or something like
that?
No.
No. His sheens are off. His sheens are very off. He does Simagloss on walls. And he does like glossy on the trim. And I'm like, dude, I mean, are you from the 70s or something? I don't even know if that's a thing. I just said that word. But it's eggshell and Simagloss. It's not Simagloss and high gloss.
Right.
You put high gloss on cabinets.
Yeah.
Right? And like doors.
Doors, yeah.
Yeah, doors, cabinets, that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I've been telling people for years he's off. But they don't listen.
Try to tell your parents.
I tried to tell them, look, the middle son, this guy knows what he's talking about. It's that older one. Something's wrong.
Something ain't right.
And something ain't right. All right, we got one more.
Last one.
Yep.
Matching furniture sets may start to look dated.
I'm sorry. I can't even read that without laughing. I mean, who has matching furniture sets in their bedroom to begin with? I'm just kidding. We don't. But I know a lot of people do. But yeah. I'm kind of like, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I have zero concern about this whatsoever.
Yeah. So we have had 2 matching furniture sets in our bedroom.
Uh-huh.
And we have one now.
Okay.
We don't have a full set, but we've the bed and the 2 dressers on either side.
Yeah.
It's pretty typical.
Most people I only laugh because we never have. But I think most people do.
Well, I mean like if you go buy a bed from like a retail furniture store, like it kind of makes sense. Like here's the bed, these are the ones that go with it.
Package.
And it's like, oh, that actually looks like it's supposed to go together because it does.
Because it does intentionally.
Yeah.
Like here's what happened with us. We needed a bed when we got married. We bought a bed. It was black. It's one of the 4-post, big, tall with a canopy. We don't have a canopy on it, but it could have a canopy on it.
What is the point of a canopy?
I guess privacy, but I don't know.
From what? Afraid God's watching you?
I don't know. I've never felt the need to put the canopy up. I'll put it that way.
Is there one like folded up in the closet or something? Did it come with one?
No, it just came with the rails if you want to put the canopy up.
Okay.
And we still have those just because we
so there's
never
rails
threw them away.
for a canopy, but no canopy itself.
Correct.
Where would you go to even buy that?
I mean, I guess you just put up curtains. I don't know.
Can you buy that at Amazon? Keep talking. I'm gonna do a quick search. Carry on with your silly story.
It won't matter. No one's gonna put them up anyway. So then my parent, we were like, look, we don't have anywhere to put our clothes. Like, we got a bed, but we don't know where to put our clothes. So for our wedding gift, my parents gave us an armoire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it didn't match the bed, except that the fact that it was black. Well, we didn't have a dresser either, and I found a dresser for free, and I was like, look, this will be super easy because our other stuff's black. We'll just strip this, sand it down, and paint it black. And to this day, I mean, we've been married for 15 years almost. That's the furniture we have in our bedroom. Is the same bed, same armoire, and the same dresser. And I think we paid $400 for the bed, like next to nothing. The rest of it was given to us, and we've never changed it. It just is what. And I look at it, and I'm like, I like this. It's fine.
Yeah.
I
sleep at night.
It matches. It's black. It's fine. No big deal.
So let me tell you, Kev.
Okay.
By Thursday, for $62, you can have a black canopy curtain for your bed.
Really? Black?
Yeah.
So, what you're telling me is I could wake up in the middle of the morning and it still be dark?
Yep.
This sounds enticing. 60 how many?
And here's the crazy thing. It's had over 300 reviews.
300, huh?
So like over 300 people own a black canopy for their bed, which like if you gun to my head, made me guess how many people had a canopy on their bed, I would have guessed under 100.
Yeah. In the world. Oh, that's interesting. And not only have more than 100 people bought it. 300 people have reviewed it.
300 people have over 300 have reviewed it. Yeah.
Yeah. That says a lot about how many sales there have been.
3.5 stars.
Okay, so here's a question.
Which is not bad. 300 reviews.
Yeah, not bad. So, what is the percentage of people that buy something that go out and leave a review?
I don't know.
It's low.
Is it?
It's got to be, right?
No.
It's got to be low.
I would imagine.
I'm guessing
this is not a common item in my mind.
But
maybe I'm wrong. You guys tell me in the comments. But like, I mean,
I don't know.
I would have been surprised if like my grandmother had a canopy bed. I mean, that's like it just doesn't. It seems like something I'd see in like Downton Abbey or something.
Yeah.
It's like this is not made for America. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
There's all those, people in the Northeast.
Well, I don't know how you feel about it, but matching furniture sets, again, you paid a lot of money for that stuff. You're probably not. And not only
I do want
that,
to see a matching set with a canopy. How
do you?
I want to see what that looks like. I don't want one. I just want to see what it looks like.
Okay. Well, even if we got a canopy, that we would not fulfill that because we don't have anything else matching.
Just sounds pretentious.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. That's
I want canopy with matching.
Right.
Good sir.
So that's the last of the seven things. And just to do a brief recap, shiplap out.
It's out.
Gray kitchen interiors, less popular, also out. All white, like linens interior, like whole rooms, completely white. That ain't happening.
It's racist.
Well, and it's definitely not happening at my house because stains. Mid-century modern furniture, that's going away, obviously.
No one likes the 50s.
Nobody does. Barn doors replaced, looking like something else.
Yeah, people want hinges.
Yeah, they do. Accent walls, who like those anyway? And then matching furniture. Oh, the nerve of those people buying matching furniture. But we're going to have a future episode. It may be next week. I don't know. And we're going to be talking about not the 7 things that are going to disappear, but the 8 things that you'll see everywhere.
Yep.
So stay tuned.
Yep. And we will be here to make fun of this list from somebody else's article.
Yes, we will. From May.
That's right.
So long ago.
That's right. We're not just Monday morning quarterbacking.
No,
we are 2-week Monday morning quarterbacking.
Oh, it's so very true. Well, what else? Anything else we need to talk about?
I'm sure there is, but no one really cares.
Nobody cares. Everybody's like, check out. I'm done. 45 minutes in. Thank you guys for downloading today's episode. We thoroughly appreciate it. If you have not already, go ahead and like and subscribe and do all of the things. Punch the bells. Punch the bells?
You can punch a bell.
I guess you could. Do whatever you got to do to the bells in order to get all the notifications. We're here each and every Tuesday on Facebook, and some people have looked for us on Twitter before.
Yes.
They don't look more than
I've been
once.
severely disappointed.
Yeah. Instagram, we're there.
Yeah.
And and YouTube, we're there as well.
Well, I mean, so one thing I can say is be checking Instagram and Facebook, because we're going to be posting videos of the cabin that we just gutted this past weekend.
That's a good point.
So we're going to be like we took it down to the studs.
That's what I heard.
So yeah, and I wasn't the only one there.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good stuff coming. It's going to be nice. The weather is nice. The podcast is nice. Everything's nice. Everything's nice. So, thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate you very much. Until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.